he has a little moment with Kobbie Mainoo where it's really interesting. He's saying to him, when you come and get the ball off the wing back or the probably more likely the left-sided centre back, instead of coming in that straight line to him.
Oh, say that again.
You don't like curved. You don't like it curved, do you?
No, I like it straight.
Yeah. Where's that guy? Ow! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for Now. Football is back in a domestic sense. And good grief, is there a lot of football on its way? I'm excited. We're going to talk about Ruben Amorim, the new era of Ruben Amorim. Is it a new era? Is it the same era? Wait. Yeah, but it's here now. It's here now, which I'm intrigued to get your thoughts on. I don't think we've actually spoken about it. We'll talk about the football coming back, some of the fixtures. You seem to want to talk about Tottenham. I kind of want to talk about QPR incredibly briefly. We've got some weird combos. I've got some pet hates. And we'll obviously, we'll finish with a man eating a corned beef sandwich with blackcurrant jam in it with his mother. With his mum. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I hope that doesn't go on. It's in 1 minute 52. That's going to be so. Stick around for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did we ask for? We asked for a corned beef sandwich with blackcurrant. I think it was.
Yep.
With your mum and a spoon, and we got it all. Yeah. And what I'm intrigued to do with that is to go through it and just. There are moments. Because obviously, when you watch it, I know I'm then going to have to talk about it. And there's moments where I would have liked to have spoken about that in the moment, but I can't do because you're not here. So I'm intrigued to see which bits you pick up in terms of the micro body language moments that the two enjoy together. Do you know what I like about this weekend's games of football, Jim? There's a lot of pressure, isn't there? There's a lot of managers reeling on the ropes.
Early doors pressure.
There's a lot of that at the moment, Jim.
There's a lot of what?
Just managers get battered on the ropes.
All right.
Like, seriously, Nottingham Forest go to Arsenal, get a result.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I really just didn't feel like Arsenal were on the table in terms of conversation early doors, but somehow you've got there. He's obsessed.
Just dodging straight.
Is he? He's Ali and Arteta Bumbaye. Is that what we're doing?
Is Tottenham versus Manchester City and El Sakiko?
Tottenham versus City? No. Is that where you're at with this? Is that what's going on here?
Where? What do you mean?
What do you think? You think Angie's under pressure? On the ropes, is he? You think he's on the ropes? Of course. Sorry, just do on the ropes one more time for me. Wow. Wouldn't last long, would you?
No, we put out a poll, which is a pretty fair barometer of how Spurs fans feel. Yeah. And it was 80% they wanted Postecoglou in and Gin. So it was 1 in 5 want him out, which is about about right. But 1 in 5, only 1 in 5 wanted Levy to stay. The tide has turned on Daniel Levy for sure.
Luke says in reaction to you being on the ropes, wow. He says he's crying. If you want to join us, you can do for less than a London pint. Probably getting close to a less than a London coffee these days. And you can join us live by becoming a patron. There's a link in the description. But yeah, do you feel what is weird? I think for both of us is that I feel overall refreshed, and when I look at the Premier League, I'm really loving the Premier League this year. I think it's really, really interesting, really fun.
It is good.
It's a good one. I always want to say what Ali Maxwell likes to call a seeded batch. There's a lovely seeded batch from third, 19 points, to Manchester United in 13th with 15 points.
So you're saying there's a sprinkling of opportunity for everybody?
A sprinkling of opportunity for everybody, and it's probably misleading for many as well, because are
Are Nottingham Forest and Fulham good, or have Villa, Tottenham, Newcastle, who are actually on the same points, well, one less, have they just sort of not really been able to dominate as much? But also, with in the same context, is that just going to be this season? Is everyone just going to be like, to use your analogy, is it just like just slugging it out? No rope-a-dope. Everyone's just going, just like the opposite of Tyson, Jake Paul.
Yeah. Look, I've made this point on a couple of podcasts now, but I think it's one of the best points I've ever made. I came up with it on my own.
Brilliant.
So there's a couple of things, right? There is the fact that this Premier League is probably more full of talent. The quality of the football and the games that are being played out has probably never been better. There has never been as deep a manager base in terms of their quality in the Premier League. Never been this many quality managers in the Premier League ever, I don't think. And no, there isn't a single shit team there. There isn't a single team that's absolutely doomed. And the reason why you know that is that no one's really dominating. Liverpool are, but they're doing it in a very functional, mechanical way, which is probably what you need to be. Whereas everyone else is a little bit more gung-ho. Like Ipswich came to Tottenham and absolutely did not sit back. They were like, no, we're going to press. We're going to play our game. We're going to press and we're going to beat you.
Oh, we're going to press.
Now,
we're going to win.
The discrepancy here is that we're not used to that.
Yeah.
Fans of Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, Manchester United are not used to not having their own way at home. And that is the reality now. With the amount of money that is in the Premier League, the amount of quality managers, like Iriola probably will go on could manage anybody in the league, probably, and he's at Bournemouth. And that's no disrespect to Bournemouth, but that's the quality of manager they have there.
Yeah.
But our mind state is still in this place where the Big Six get their own way at home, and that's just the way it is. And so, for the first time, I think the unhappiest people are the people the unhappiest fan bases are those that belong to the top six.
And I guess least certain. I think the fear factor. I did my sort of updated predictions yesterday, and when I was sort of thinking about it, the thing with Man City, and obviously always these shouts can come back and hurt you, but the thing with Man City is that the fear factor's, it's not gone. It's not like, when David Moyes was Man United manager and he just sort of had a couple of bad results, and then all of a sudden everyone's sort of like, oh, we can have a go. We can have a go if you want.
So you're saying we got a chance?
Yeah,
that's what it is, isn't it?
I think that's. Do you know what it's like? It's the kid. It's like the kid. It's year 9. It's the last day of school, and little Timmy, he's 4'5". Not speaking on any kind of experience here or anything I would want to happen to myself, but he's 4'5". He's getting the shit kicked out of him. He's getting the shit kicked out of him every day. And what are you supposed to do when you've still got to go and play? You've still got to go to school every day. You curl up into a ball and you wet yourself, you cry, and you hope for a better day. Now, you go away for the summer holidays, and then you come back. And what's happened, Flav? You've grown, your balls have dropped, you've grown pubes.
Yep.
And not just pubes, you've grown about 4 inches in height. And a tuft of hair on your lip. Now what? That's it.
Now what's up?
That's it. Now what? That's what I want. We should start doing that. What's it going to be like the now what performance of the week?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we'll do it straight off the bat. Let us know in the comments down below. What will be this week's now what performance of the week? So we've got, you can see it in front of you, hopefully, Flav.
I've got it.
Yep, got Leicester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest in the rope-a-dope derby. Well, not really. Wrong way around.
No.
Would you like that? Would there be so much for the amount of not disdain, but what would you say would be the reception that any kind of Nuno Espirito Santo Tottenham sort of chat gets? What would be the word that you would describe the sort of feeling towards Nuno?
Nuno. Oh, right. The feeling
Yeah.
towards Nuno. Absolutely nothing at all.
Right. Not good or bad.
Nothing. Just a nothingness.
It's just feel like a bit of a fever dream.
It just feels like he makes me feel nothing at all. You know, like if you get lost in a tundra or a desert that wasn't too hot, sort of temperate desert. That every now and then there was a cup of water. That was his experience. That was his time.
That's really good.
I don't dislike him. I don't
from nowhere
like him.
Just absolute abyss, and then just an arm with a glass.
I just feel like it was that Nuno's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers. That was Nuno's time at Tottenham wasn't on him. It was on the horrendous running of the football club at the time. And so Daniel Levy and Paratici, that it was their fault. But they wanted Conte.
Yeah.
They couldn't get Conte because he didn't want to come to Spurs. Hated us before he joined us.
Would you like more money? Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Then we got beaten by United 3-0, and then they were like, can you come? Because I know you said no earlier, but please can you? Here's an extra £5 million a year. Does that sound good? And then he's like, I don't want to do this job.
Doesn't sound good. Where do I sign?
Mate, I'm not sure you're allowed to do that.
It's Italian, isn't it?
I know, but you got like the Premier League and stuff. What are you doing?
It's always clearly a joke accent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Staying in. Thomas Sutel says, Forest to beat Arsenal, proper top 4 contenders. Now what? I like this now what thing.
Look, if Forest beat Arsenal, that is a big result. Because at the moment you're going form. You're looking at Forest and you're going, you're in form.
Yeah.
Right. This isn't Forest.
That's hot right now.
You're looking at you're running hot. However,
they are running hot. Yeah.
A win at Arsenal is big for them, and they're kind of set up to get it as well.
Yep, that's true. They're also they obviously they're level on points with Forest, with Arsenal, so will leapfrog. That is 4th versus 5th. Let's not forget that. But so if say Nuno beats him 4-0 away, which obviously won't happen.
Wow.
But do you know what, the love he'll from nowhere get on Twitter will be sort of akin to when Steven Gerrard went back to Stamford Bridge and got some applause because he was retiring. And Steven Gerrard afterwards was like, what am I supposed to be grateful for that? Because I think some Spurs fans, if they beat 4-0 and Arteta somehow, they just panicked. New sporting director went, do you know what, Mikel? It's not good. I've got to make my power known. So you're off. It would be a big statement, Zach. That's correct.
So wouldn't it be interesting, and won't it be interesting when Saka starts tomorrow? Just thought you were injured.
Saka.
You were really injured.
Will Foden be available? There's a few of these lads.
Available?
They'll be available, won't they? Let's be honest.
All pathetic. Very, very pathetic.
What just made it?
But they shouldn't be allowed in the squad. You're not allowed to play for England anymore. You're not allowed.
What would happen what happened if those players went on Twitter and put a statement again? All right, guys, obviously I love my country, but it's the Nations League and I'm knackered. I'm playing 3 games. I played 3 games a week for the last 4 years. I'm just tired. I could do a 2-week break.
Do you think people go, fair enough?
I think I think you get as much sort of good and bad as you would now.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you'd be being honest. You go, look, I want to be available for the rest of the season. It's the Nations League. Fucking relax. I don't think it's that big a deal. I really don't.
They shouldn't have so many stupid international breaks, should they?
Do you know?
I think that's where I'm kind of at the moment. I'm just I feel like I'm on the ropes a little bit. I feel like, do you know what I mean? Because these fucking international breaks just they sap it out of you. You're like, good. And do you know what it is? It's because we've lost the last 5 international breaks. I've had to sit in the misery.
Going into?
Yeah, the last 5.
Really? Last 5?
Really, really tough. And that's why we thought Ipswich at home before the next one. Surely that's guaranteed.
Now is a moment. I don't know if all fans are feeling this way. I certainly am. Whereas, so obviously QPR, sort of dire situation. They put an article out where they kind of went, just wanted to give you guys an update on the injuries we've got, because we've got so many injuries, and they just basically go through it, and it's like still out, he's still out, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks. He's still out. He's out till February. He's brilliant. Thanks. But
Don't bother.
As I wake up today we're doing this on Thursday, and we look forward to the weekend. And in a way, this really is one for the weekend. You start to think, right, come on now. That's my inner monologue right now. Come on now. And right, come on now. Everyone's had a laugh at me. I get it. But come on now. Fix this.
I mean,
come on now.
You got to start coming on soon, because.
Come on, mate. Just come on me. Please.
James, it's a dire situation, isn't it? But like I said to you, like League One, Championship, well, it's the same.
Do you know what's a weird pressure for us? Is that we've got Stoke this Saturday, which my good friend Craigie is a Stoke fan. And generally, when we really need a win at home against Stoke, they deliver. They'll give it to us. But that is now becoming a new pressure for us to go, yeah, I know we are bad. Because this is what I mean. It's like, now's the moment where between now and January, it's like, I'm pretty sure we're bad. Something needs to, do you know what I mean? Or I'm pretty sure we're like for you, it might be like, I'm pretty sure we're sort of 4th to 7th, which is just like, it's reality just sort of like prodding you. And I just like, come on now. Don't be as bad as you've been. Come on now. And I think that's the same for most teams right now. Because same for Villa and Palace. That's the come on now derby, I would say.
Well, Emery as well. That's another one. Like that's both of those managers are like trying to dodge, because even Villa fans are going, what's going wrong? What's going wrong? Why aren't we seeing what we know we want to see? Something is happening at Villa.
We were winning all the games, and now we're not winning all the games.
Yeah.
So it's a strange existence. Is Catherine with us? Is Catherine in the chat?
Oh, she's with you.
Is she here? How's she feeling about Villa? Is everything? Are we okay? Are you all right?
Yeah, she
need some
bumping in Europe a couple of weeks ago, apparently.
They are we're kings of Europe. Here's something that's on my mind before we get into Amorim, which kind of leads into Amorim. So Lampard, good friend of mine, great guy. We had a great chat this week.
Mate, class.
And do you know what? And clearly knows his stuff, right? But I was watching this. Oh God, I forget the name of it now. I think it's quite a small YouTube channel, so I did want to shout out. I might have got it wrong. I think it's called Football in the Park. It's these two lads, young lads, and they're brilliant. They're really, really good. And they were talking about the runners and riders for the Coventry City gig, and they were saying it was sort of down to.
You recorded this previously before that?
Yeah. Age ago.
Long time.
I recorded about a month ago.
Right, okay.
And they were talking about it being either Ruud van Nistelrooy or Lampard. And when
Coventry.
And it's such a tough gig to take. That's such a to sort of step into those shoes. I don't know what the analogy is. That's a similar
John
thing
Eustace,
to that.
the same. It's the same as Eustace at Birmingham. You're not wanted.
But it's like that times 1,000.
Is it?
Mark Robbins took him from League Two through the leagues, a game away from going from League Two to the Premier League, seconds away from a VAR decision away from being in an FA Cup final as well, through the highs and the lows of it all. Just such a terrible decision in my opinion. And so whoever steps in just is nowhere near the credit in the bank. But what I thought it got me thinking about, which I thought was interesting, was they were talking about how Rooney's been given a couple of chances, Gerrard a couple of chances. Oh, did you see Mick Beale's gone to Al Ettifaq? I think with to be Gerrard's assistant. So it's all worked out for Mick. He's
not still bitter about that, are you, Jim?
No, I'm not. I get what I disagree with what he did. I don't. I get why he did it though. That makes sense. But yeah, what was interesting here, right, is do you think that if you're the owner of a club and you know that you've got 4 managers, right, and 3 of them are better than the 4th one, but not by a lot, right? But the 4th one is a superstar. Like in terms of Frank Lampard. What are you laughing at? Who's taking the piss out of me in the chat?
No, you're right. You're right.
Why are you smirking?
I tried to not smirk because I was listening to what you were saying, but it's just up the fucking villa has just said, Flav, stop with your weird little obsession with us. Worry about imposter Cogley first. Yes, I'm rattled.
Yes,
okay. It's a shame. No, Lampard. It's
wait. So let me finish that point. The point is that will we begin to see this more and more, where football clubs are so desperate for attention and eyeballs that we are going to have these sort of influencer managers who are based on profile more than
the owners are seduced by them, aren't they?
Yeah, because Frank, like any other, if it's not Frank Lampard, and again, I think Frank Lampard has had a sort of, it's tough, those situations he's had, despite them being incredible opportunities as well. And I thought he was a little bit hard done by Chelsea, but obviously it worked out because Tuchel came in and did a great job. So I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but if you're going to get rid of probably your greatest manager of all time, certainly in the top 2,
yeah,
and you're going to replace him with Frank Lampard, what is the thinking behind that? Especially when you've sacked the guy first without having the replacement ready.
Yes. So Doug King and Mark Robins had a massive falling out. There's massive issues between them, and he wasn't sacked because of Coventry's performances in the Championship. He was sacked because there was a complete breakdown in their relationship.
Right.
And the biggest shame in this is that, obviously, if you ask the Coventry fans, they could take any owner, more or less. Doug King's done a good job, right? But they could take any owner, but they wanted Mark Robins. But in this dynamic, it has to be Robins that goes, obviously. So, and then so King's in this position now that he's gone, how do I solve this? How do I find the right profile of manager, the right name that will quell the discontent that's currently existing? And fans are not stupid. Frank Lampard doesn't do that for them. No, there isn't a manager out there that they would want more than Mark Robins, right? So it's just something that they've got to suck up and get on with. But it's a shame. It's the same thing with Birmingham. The better example is that exactly that scenario you described was where Birmingham managers were seduced by Wayne Rooney. Birmingham owners were seduced by Wayne Rooney, and everyone was screaming at them again, "Don't do this! Don't do this!" Do you remember? Do not do this. This is going to be bad, and it was about as bad as it could have been.
I think, it's an interesting. I guess that's probably always been the case a little bit, but it was for a different kind of influence. It was a player. It would have been a player who'd had great links with, so like for example, Frank Lampard first time round goes to Derby, gets Mount and Tomori because of those Chelsea links. It used to be those links, but now I wonder, like, I think if you did a blind interview and Wayne Rooney was just one of the interviewees and you sort of changed his voice and you had everyone the same and it was based on what they kind of said and their previous CV, would Wayne Rooney have got that gig? Maybe, but
he does speak well when it comes to football. I think that Wayne Rooney's more impressive than.
Well, I think that, like you said, it's all the time. Well, yeah, I think the thing to remember is that despite people sort of not feeling Gerrard or Lampard or Rooney as coaches, they know. Yeah. There's no doubt they know outrageous amounts about the game.
Of course.
It's just if they are the right fit. But I think it's allowed. I think there'll be a lot of managers that won't get a second chance that are probably better managers if given the chance. That
like when you sat down with
high profile guys will get.
When you sat down with him, was you impressed by his What was you talking? You were talking about the goals, right?
Talk about the goals, yeah. So it's on the Premier League YouTube channel. It's called Ultimates, and the guys had to cut it down to about 20, or maybe 15. There are some bits there. It was a shame, me being me, right? I got sent the goals before, and I spent about an hour just like slowly like breaking them down. And if I'd had, and this is the dream, is that if I'd had an hour with him, and we could go through the footage properly. What was pretty mind-blowing for me in terms of how much I probably will have watched games that Frank Lampard's in is how clever he was as a player in terms of his movement, his scanning, his decision-making, his free will in terms of just getting himself in the box, and then his use of movement once he's in there. There's some great little... There's so many great moments that you can kind of... He has a look at these different moments. There's a bit they cut out, which is cool. But like the goal he scores against Bolton, he knew that moment was going to happen before literally anyone in the world.
What moment? It's right,
so he scores. So for those who don't remember, 2005, Chelsea beat Bolton away 2-0. Lampard scored both goals, and the second goal, Bolton were pushing, I guess. And it was sort of breakaway goal, and the ball comes out to Makelele of all people, which I could never really understand. But if you watch the ball on its way to Makelele, you can then see Lampard out and quite high up, and he scans instinctively, and he knows that Makelele needs. He's like, the pass you need to make is a pass to me, and he knows that once he gets it, he's through on goal. And so he knew that before anyone else, which
he just saw it happen.
He saw that it was going to happen, needed to happen. And there's so many little moments where I saw this great quote the other day. It was about Ruud Gullit said that football is, and being good at football is just the ability to recognise patterns. And Frank Lampard is such a great example of, or someone like, Gio's a great example. Neve did a great interview with Dimitar Berbatov, and he's spoken about this a few times. But in terms of understanding the flow and the pattern of a game, those players that are great at arriving in the box at the right time, they're players that are so understanding of the patterns and the players that they're playing with that they know when it's the right time. So, for example, with Dimitar Berbatov, he was saying if he's playing with Antonio Valencia, it's one where he's going to get to the byline, he's going to put it in. So he needs to get into the box. But if it's Nani's going to dribble and dribble and maybe get his head up at some point. So take your time. And there's another goal later on. He scores a phenomenal goal against Stoke City where as he sort of gets the ball, often with some of these goals, he'll get the ball, play it off, and then start to make his way into the penalty box. And he gets the ball, plays it to someone. That ball gets played out to the right back, who's like a kid called Hutchinson, I think. And because he's a kid, he's sort of maybe a bit tentative or not just kind of doing what he should be doing, which is putting the cross in. So if you look at Lampard, who's on his way now into the box because he's expecting the cross, you see him sort of, buoy him, and he's like, hurry up, put the cross in. And so Hutchinson, obviously 19-year-old kid, goes, shit, huh? And puts this, great cross in, and then Lampard scores the goal, and the timing of the run is fantastic. So he's a very smart. There's no doubt he's not smart.
Did he smell nice?
He looked in great shape because I think he does fluctuate a bit, doesn't he, when he's in the managerial job?
What did he smell like?
He didn't smell of anything really. But
do you know who I met and I thought, you smell incredible?
Chunks. That's the person that came to mind for me. Chunks always smells incredible.
I've never met him. How much time have you spent with Chunks?
Only a few times, but I'm even playing football with him. I played football with him once time, and I think you smell incredible.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I think it's always
good.
It's always nice to say that, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Sorry, who are you thinking?
Jamie Redknapp. Honestly, when I met him, I was like, sometimes you go, wow, like that is a specimen of a man. Sure. But when you look at him on TV, you're like, looks a bit weird. He's a bit odd. All right. But in person, he's like a different thing altogether, and he smells sensational.
Oh, I've told you about Jamie Redknapp one. That's the way, haven't I? Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. It's Jamie Redknapp. I had a mate who was coaching his kid, and he needed to speak to him, so he called him, and the first thing he said went, "Hi there. Don't be alarmed. It's Jamie Redknapp." That's cracking. Imagine, but if you are sort of like, I don't know, if you're Beyonce and you've got to call up the teacher because your kid's not well.
Don't be alarmed.
You would say that, wouldn't you? Right. Hi. This is whatever's Ivy's. This is Ivy's mum. What
you want to get past that bit, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to get past that.
Got
you
stuff
just
to
want
do.
Yeah. James, do you remember when you cheated on me with Ben Haynes?
All right. If we can say Will Brazier.
No, I was just thinking about that earlier.
Well, I got a Jim Big Laugh award actually. This week.
There's some good comments. I got absolutely torn to pieces.
yeah. There's a lot of love for you as well. I thought.
Was there?
Well, Reece said, it feels a bit weird watching this. This is last week's podcast where Will Brazier, that's right, the Will Brazier joined us for the podcast. He said, it's a bit weird watching this, just seeing Flav being absolutely cucked by James with his new mate. Though I did notice a bit of a shift in Jim being the third wheel for a while. Hopefully it all gets sorted before the trip to Fleet Services.
Look, mate, that was a new dynamic. I don't think we've ever done 3 on the pod before.
I'll be honest, it did feel a little weird.
It naturally was going to feel weird.
Because they're just used to us here chatting away.
Also, we can read each other's beats, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Something you learn to do after 1,000 hours talking to each other.
Can we talk about Ruben Amorim?
Yes.
Because I think it's important. He's a charmer, isn't he? He's a charmer.
I like him. I like the cut of his jib. Jim.
I said, so cool. I would say if you're a Man United fan, cautious optimism is the play here, because I bet he smells great.
Yeah. I'm sure he smells great. Look, there's a couple of things. He's impressive. That interview with the guy, what's his name, Gary Cotterill or something like whatever his name is, that done him wonders. That was the perfect way to set him up for this job.
The United PR this week's been top notch. It really has.
Has it? I haven't really seen much about it.
There's a 6-minute video on the first training session, which was really interesting. That I'd be intrigued to know, if you're going to film the training session and they're clearly working on the shape of the way Amorim plays, would you be a bit nervous about that? How
understanding? I think you have to be.
But who checks? Who's going to check through it? Because he's given all these little tidbits to different players. You've got different players in different positions as well, which is obviously an interesting one as well. And so, do you is that a bluff, or is it or
what
do you
you're
not
asking?
care?
Whether is he going to immediately go to the 3-4-3? Do you think?
Yeah, he will absolutely go to the 3-4-3.
It has to, right? That's his thing.
Yeah, he said in that interview. I thought this was really clever. And this is the thing I want. This is the point I'm getting to is with the video. How much is that, Ruben? Do you just want to watch this before it goes out? Because there's going to be a bit of a storm once it goes out, because everyone's going to be devouring it. And the same with the interview. How much freedom is he totally given in that, and how much advice is he given in terms of sort of key lines? Because those key lines will get turned into articles and videos.
Mate, tell me about it. Postecoglou said that he wins things in the second year. It's like all I'm doing is talking about that.
Yeah.
Now, someone wants to talk to me about Postecoglou, it's that.
Well, that's it. So what I thought they did brilliantly is he said he didn't shy away from needing to win games, which I think is important. But what he said he could guarantee is an idea. And by idea, he means how he wants them to play. And in that training footage, it's incredibly clear that it's exactly that way. There's some lovely. There's a lovely
show
moment
formations and players in positions.
I mean, not sort of broadly. It's like a mid shot of that. But you can absolutely see the runs of. You could see the ball going out to the wide wing back, and then Mason Mount making driving runs in behind. You can see that's going to be a big part of it, maybe. Little words that he's saying in terms of get the ball out wide, or he has a little moment with Kobbie Mainoo where it's really interesting. He's saying to him, when you come and get the ball off the wing back or the probably more likely the left-sided centre back, instead of coming in that straight line to him.
Oh, say that again.
You don't like curved. You don't like it curved, do you?
No, I like it straight.
Yeah. Where's that guy? Ow! You know, we've spoken about this. I like it straight. He was saying instead, sort of make it more of a curved run, because that curved run will invite the defender who's pressing towards you, but it also gives you an option to either open up or play the ball forwards. Whereas if you're just coming straight onto it, then you sort of got your back to goal. You haven't got that room. It's about creating room, which he knows as being a midfielder himself. So there's some nice stuff there. But it's all about wins, isn't it? It's all going to be
about wins, but it's also about patience from Man United fans and from the press. He won't get it from the press, obviously, because it's not their job to be patient. But he definitely will get it from the Man United fans. The ones I've spoken to, there's a cautious optimism, but the kind of patience they showed to Ten Hag was admirable, right? But it was also kind of patience that Amorim will need, because you're changing the system. Does he have the players to play 3-4-3 in the way that Sporting would play? Well, not yet, probably. But he had 2-3 years with Sporting. I don't know actually how long he was at Sporting. It must have been 2 years, 3 years.
4 years, I think.
What, he took them over when he's 35?
He took them over when he was very young. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like it's 4 years. Or maybe it's 3 years. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But whatever, he had enough time to mould that squad.
Yeah.
And so it will take time. And I think that Man United, weirdly, despite being, like a goldfish bowl and the second biggest team, maybe the biggest team in the world, that he will give them, he will be given the space to fail quickly. And what I mean is,
yeah, go on.
Well, I just mean he needs to do that in order to get it right. And it may just go swimmingly from the start, but I think he's at the right club. I think just the appetite for improvement is so much so, and because there was a lack of identity before, that any movement towards one will be seen with an additional, satisfaction.
What's really interesting is, and I think it was a great line, him saying the idea thing, because I was looking. So I'm on Saturday Social this weekend with Abs again, which is lovely because I was on with him last time, and we're going to be talking about some strikers, but we're also going to be talking about Manchester United, and Abs is going to talk about the lineup for him. And it's interesting, I was sort of just having a little look at a read and seeing different people's lineups. There's so many different ones out there, which makes me kind of think. So this is a Premier League article. I think it's Adrian Clark, and he's saying this is the possible future one with Rashford. There's so many things to be decided. Putting Shaw in there, that's great in a perfect world, but is he going to break down at some point? So what's the contingency for that? Mazraoui's not in this team. Is it going to be a straight shootout between him and Dalot? Again, I think it's a good problem to have if that can become it. The forward positions here, this is a future one. So in this future one, you've got Bruno Fernandes in the midfield here, but what about Ugarte? Ahmad, I think, could be really exciting. And Rashford as a striker here instead of Højlund as a striker. And this was the one who's saying could be the possible lineup against Ipswich. Abs is going to do his one, which will be interesting. But there's so many question marks over that whole squad. One thing I'll put out there, I think he could have done with a home game first. I think
that would have been nice.
I think Ipswich away, I really wouldn't be surprised if they... I'll actually be surprised if they win the game.
So would I. I would then. I'm not just saying that because Ipswich have just beaten Spurs, but they are well drilled. They know exactly what they're doing. It's almost like you're watching a team that it's a second nature. They've been under McKenna and they have such faith in him, and they've got legitimately quality players as well. Is that it's probably, and there's an additional expectations for Man United to beat Ipswich Town. This probably isn't the best place to start, but there isn't really a good place to start in the Premier League. A home game, a reverse tie would have been better, obviously for obvious reasons, but it would have been good if he would have managed to go out in front of 70, 80,000 people at Old Trafford singing his name and build that goodwill and that good feeling and sort of feed off that.
Yeah, and I think just to not keep him honest, but what it's like when you've got that continuous roar. It's something that you see that difference in performance. I think away from home, Ipswich will be up for it. McKenna will be so up for it. McKenna will have intel on a lot of these players, or some of these players, more so than most managers will. And when you're playing a new formation, as much as it's going forward is one thing, it's obviously going backwards as well. And Ipswich have got a solid amount about them going forward, like Delap, for example, or Chaplin, or like the different players they've got. They've got a lot of exciting players. So yeah, I reckon I think it'll be a draw, this one. I will be surprised if they win it, because I just think there's a lot for them to kind of figure out. But I think they've got it right here. I think it's the best appointment they could have kind of gone with, and the way he talks is very, very, very impressive. I said it in a live stream yesterday. It's one where, like, I think fans that, like, maybe want to hate Man United for whatever reason, quietly to themselves they'll be going, I like him. He's
good.
Yeah, he's got a
look, and controlling the press room is important.
Yeah.
It's really important, and Ten Hag couldn't do it. And
do you think Ange is getting that right?
I think Ange is doing what he's always done. This is, I think he is.
It's a bit spiky, isn't he? He's a little bit spiky.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of this book, have you, Jim? I'm not sure.
Go on.
But the
go on, Vince.
in this book. Do
you know what, I'm going to put? For Christmas, I'm going to put a fucking affiliate link in the description. I'm try and get myself some cash out of this. Unbelievable.
But he's been this way. Like I said, he's been this way. He's all these conversations that are around him and currently have pre-existed, and not more so when he sort of left the Australian job really badly in a really kind of.
I've seen that interview. I mean, has it out with that guy?
Yeah, so that was a couple of years before he left. But that was the start of it, because he felt there was absolutely zero respect for the national game, the football in terms of the eyes of the press. It was all Aussie rules, rugby and cricket, whereas football was almost like I won't go into it. It's quite interesting in terms of, like, it was seen as like the immigrant sport because it was played by lots of Greeks and others. Anyway, so yeah, maybe not getting it right, but it's just being who he is.
Okay.
Right. But Amorim talks brilliantly. He does really well. And one final thing before we get into this. I know we've got to leave shortly, Jim, but just on Villa.
Yep. Yeah. Go
on. I don't have an obsession with Villa. I'm just saying, I'm noticing things. When I was on the overlap, I was completely rattled on the overlap, by the way.
Was it this week?
Yeah, the one that was just come out.
Exciting.
Because who's the Villa lad? I keep forgetting his name. Lovely
Luke.
guy. Yeah, Luke. He's hot take. We all have to bring our own hot takes.
Right.
His hot take was Villa should replace Tottenham as in the Big Six. And I was like, I shouldn't be bothered by this because I'm a 43-year-old man and it means nothing.
Yeah. Logically, in terms of it makes sense.
This is pathetic.
What you said.
What logically makes sense?
That's so easy. Well, like trophies and stuff.
Shut up, Jim.
But trophies, League Cups, European Cups,
the reality,
titles,
James,
current Champions League status. Yeah.
The reality is it's about how many people watch you play across the board. Around the planet. How many people are watching you?
That's all that matters.
And in the modern era, how many people are watching you, and how much money do you generate? And that is it. That's football. It's fucking sick.
That's the game. Okay.
It should be is who's in the top 6 in the Premier League now.
Yeah, but then that always changes, doesn't it? So they have to kind of go. Do you know you also have to have been willing to sell your soul for a Super League? That's quite important, I think, as well.
True. That's true.
So, sorry, Villa.
It's just there's a reason why you weren't invited, boys.
Right. Football chat over.
Football chat
over.
They were just one last thing. They were in the Championship like 2 years ago.
Just asking. Getting a stat wrong for the wind up. Really good. Really good.
No. It was actually.
What are you talking about? It was 4 years ago.
What are you talking about? 4 years ago. Mate, the funniest thing we've ever done on this pod. I know you can't laugh at yourself, but when Duran scored for Villa in the Champions League, and we did our celebration.
He's gonna lob him. Flav, shut up! Shut up! He's about to lob him. Yeah, that was good. Right.
And I like Villa.
I bloody like Villa too. Right. Oh, one thing. So, as I said earlier, we would love you to join us for our Patreon mailbags, where we have lovely chats. We talk about the industry quite a lot, actually, don't we? And there was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was about how to win an argument. I'd love if for a new bit, I would love to know great ways to win an argument. And great examples of you winning your argument, in particular, with your partner. How you can so for example, one of the guys, I can't remember who it was, was saying that when he has a sort of silly argument with his missus to sort of elevate the mood, he'll just sing. They'll start singing. Ronan Keating, that's right. Life is a roller coaster. Just gotta ride it all night long. So, yeah, let us know. How do you win an argument? And good examples of it. Okay. Top comments last week. Oh, okay. Flight chat. Is this a possible bit? Let's see. I'm fearful, but I know you don't like, and you're fearful of flying. But here's a comment. So Joseph says, 13-hour flight to Japan in the morning. I've got the pod downloaded and ready to go. Now, to decide what hour of the flight to stick this on. Do I take off on my new adventure, the theme song playing as the wheels leave the tarmac? The two of you carrying me into the clouds. Or do I time it perfectly for the last hour? So just as you guys sign off, I'm here, ready, pumped on the highs the podcast has provided. What do you think's the better option?
Take off. I love the take off.
Take off, done.
Yeah.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
There was a couple of replies. I don't think so. Said every hour on repeat, no headphones. Just blast it. And you must stick your fingers in some consenting Japanese person's mouth at least once whilst listening to the pod. Best boy Patrick had a different approach. He said, surely 13 full playthroughs. Noticing something new with each replay. Exciting.
Is he a patron though?
Joseph, oh my God. Great way to upsell, Flav. Oh, I know what you're saying. Go for it.
Well, it's just how many hours?
There's 168 episodes of the mailbag.
You could fly to Japan and back about 48 times.
That is a bloody good shout. Yeah, can you download them? I think you probably could. Top comments. This is just off the back of the Will Brazier appearance last week. 143 likes on this one. Thomas Young said, Flav like a seasoned veteran, knowing his time's nearly done after new signing Will appears from nowhere, ready to replace him in the starting lineup. Banner said that his form is likely to pick up with his position under threat.
I just to full disclosure, I didn't know that Will Brazier was going to appear.
And you did call it.
When I said Will Brazier, I had no idea it was going to be him.
Do you know what was? Because I said to Will before, I went, "Oh, I think he'll guess you, or I think he'll say you," because he's always said he wanted to sort of meet you. And
we have actually met once before. I remember actually, where we on Butt Radio.
Oh yeah, of course. But I was saying it'd be funny if I said, "Oh, who would be a perfect guest?" and you said something else, and then he's got to sit down. Little power move.
That's a shame.
That's an opportunity there. Right, possible new bit as well. Sentences that can end with the words, with the sentence on top of it, proper football man. Okay? Let me know examples of a sentence you could say. Here's an example to kick us off that you can end with proper football man because he did it himself. N17 Stew. We were talking about the awards show, which we lost. Soccer Aid won, didn't they?
Of course they done.
Where's the money?
Where's the money? Where are the people that are being saved?
But we had a good night though. We had a great night.
It was great fun.
And look, we're about to talk about ties, but Flav pulled off a turtleneck fantastically. And I just did not see that coming, but somehow he did it. Well done.
I did it.
You look great. He says, where do you keep your ties is so middle class. My one tie is in the pocket of my one suit last worn to court. Proper football man. Okay?
Nice.
Let us know things you've done this week that prove to us that you are a proper football man or woman or non-binary, and you will be on the podcast next week. Okay? Pet hate in the mixer. Pet hate. Automatic doors that don't open quick enough and make you change your pace of walk. How do you... the question I had off the back of that was, you know those sort of rotating ones?
Yep.
How do you attack that?
I wait for the gap. I wait for an empty cell.
Would you ever get in a cell with someone else?
Of course not.
You're...
That's crazy talk.
Especially if it's a bloke, I just like nervous. I don't know, like he's gonna tap his bum. He's gonna get, it's like
course,
imagine he gets caught up. He gets like he's gone too quick. Then he slows down and he like bumps into me.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Cock on bum.
Cock on bum. Like we said about the terraces. Do you remember the terraces? Like if you've got to go down the aisle, do you go cock to cock or cock to bum?
You go cock to cock, don't you?
You go cock to cock because you can keep your you've always got your hands.
Yeah.
You're so vulnerable, cock to bum.
Cock to bum is crazy talk.
Because you can grab the guy and go, hello, mate, but ensuring he stays away from his penis, the tip of his penis stays away from your tip of your penis.
Yeah. And what's, pair of hell bits rubbing together between strangers at the football.
That's it, Jack Kirby. Those tiny steps to avoid the touch. That's horrible,
mate,
isn't it? In someone's bubble.
Queen's Park Rangers is ridiculous. How small that is. How much space you don't have. I've never been more uncomfortable than I was watching Queen's Park Rangers the other day. There's no space.
Me too.
No, James, forget the football. There is no space to put your legs. Yeah, everybody is sitting at an angle. It's crazy.
Sign of a good game, isn't it? Bruised shins. No?
Yeah.
It's not, at least it's not sanitised.
Do you know Still Ryan? Ryan?
Yeah, I think I do.
Really positive. I like his stuff. It really makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I accidentally touched his arse at the overlap and he mentioned it.
He mentioned it.
He said, "Did you just touch my arse?" I mean, I didn't mean to, but I did. So, how do we move forward? He was sound lad, actually. Very sound.
Was he? Yeah, he seemed
nice.
That was the pet hate. Get your pet hates in. I like pet hates. Who is your Ranieri? We were speaking about this last week. Meow said, "Who is your Ranieri?" is a good bit for Everton. I'm going for David Moyes. So I think it's the guy that if your club's in utter disarray, who's the manager that comes in?
We haven't got one.
Ryan Mason. Ryan Mason for you.
Well, it used to be David Pleat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he absolutely hates the club now because he's been binned out because we didn't want him to just use his eyes when picking footballers anymore. We wanted him to look at the data as well, but he didn't know how to open a laptop, so that's exactly. Who's your Ranieri? Let us know. And last but not least, of course, great odd combinations. George Wilson. Some madness here, Flav. And actually, there was one comment. Someone said last week, he said, "I'm absolutely certain that Flav wasn't listening for any of the weird, odd combinations." Okay? I was, because I remember us talking about... What was we talking about? Cheese and apples or something. Cheese and apple? Cheese and apple's a good combination.
Yeah, I think it's an option. We weren't talking about that. You brought that up. Okay. Right, so fucking listen. George Wilson, weird combo. On pancake day, my mum and sister would top their pancake with sugar and malt vinegar.
That's fucking mental. You can't just make stuff up, lads. You can't just make stuff up just to get a readout. It can't mean that much to you to lie.
I could still smell it to this day. They'd really go heavy on the vinegar too. Never understood it. The lemon juice is right there. But is the lemon juice right there? I guess if you've got a lemon. You remember those like that? There would be like a pack, not a packet, it's like a bottle, but in the shape of a lemon.
Yeah, of course.
That was lemon juice. I was thinking
James, can I just say, pancakes are the most overrated food stuff. It's shit.
Crepes are.
Also shit.
But no, a good pancake is fine.
What's so because it on its own pretty shit, doesn't really taste that much. So what you add into a pancake to make it what did you just call it?
Epic, did I say? I can't remember.
Did you say epic? Did you say epic? Right, what are you adding?
I'm adding you could have a bit so we have pancakes a lot, and let me blow your mind with a quick fire recipe. If you get a banana, mash that banana up, put an egg in it, and 2 heaped spoonfuls of flour, you've got yourself a pancake mix. That's good to go. With a bit of banana in there as well.
Gotcha. Like,
also,
so that's ready made.
Chuck in some little chocolate bits if you want to, or you could chuck in some blueberries as well. And here's another little hack that I actually did this morning, and it worked, right? What you do is, say you have a pancake, right?
Yeah.
You make that pancake, okay? And then you flip it. You've got to do the other side. As you're doing the other side, what you do is, you put a little bit of honey over the top. Smear that honey round. Okay? Creating a honey sort of a, seal, let's say. And then flip it back round and let it become a little bit, not kind of like crispy. And so you've got a nice fluffy pancake with a slightly crispy top with a honey glaze. A bit like,
it's too
makes
sweet.
Good stuff. It's not
way
too
too
sweet.
It is too sweet. It's too sweet, Jim.
Well, with pancakes, that's why they have bacon with it sometimes as well. It's sweet and salt. Sweet and salt. They're not too bad.
I sometimes make the kids before school. I'll make them waffles, like the sweet waffles, with bacon, syrup, and sort of.
Yeah, well, that's just a different shape of a pancake.
Yeah, but I don't eat it, James. I think it's bullshit, to be honest.
Okay,
it's a complete bullshit.
Are you pancake in or pancake out? Let's know. I think I previously would have been pancake out. I'm certainly crepe out. They are the worst food on the planet. Absolute waste. Extortionate amount of money, and you're never full.
Does it genuinely deserve an entire day of pancakes that good?
Yeah, it's silly, isn't it?
It ain't burger day or spaghetti bolognese day, is there?
Yeah, we're missing a point here. We should create a day.
But everyone said will post themselves eating. Let's do a spaghetti bolognese day.
That's a great shout.
Right, so we'll put a date out, and then everybody tweet. We'll tweet. We'll get a hashtag. The hashtag's not really used anymore. But
no one gives a fuck. Let's let it be our thing. It's fine.
Let's like on a certain day, we're all gonna agree. Everyone
lasagna day, says Zach.
Lasagna day.
Lot of work. Lot more work.
Lot of work. Yeah, you're asking a lot. I think spaghetti bolognese day.
Banana
and everybody will just post online that they're eating spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, and more cheese the better.
So should we say January 6th?
Yeah, I like that. Nice cold.
Right.
Yeah, it's a cold date. Don't know what just going on.
Yeah, spaghetti bolognese day, January 6th.
Okay. Callum Mitchell, a weird combination I used when I was about 10 years old was a bean toasty, except I added a packet of Cadbury's chocolate buttons. No idea what I was thinking, but it hit the spot. And William Frost, not necessarily a weird combo, but one for Koa maybe, Jim. Spelled Koa wrong. When I was a kid, I would often partake in what the house called rainbow toast. Rainbow toast gets its name from the fact that there's vertical slithers of different spreads across the slice of bread, resembling what I now know is a joyful natural occurrence of the spectrum of light. What, want 2 different jams? No problem. Marmalade? Go for it. Honey? The world's your oyster. A faff for those preparing breakfast, no doubt, but a memorable breakfast treat for all involved. So the question that I had from that, which I do with Koa, so Koa, I'll often make him one where I do butter, and then I do half with peanut butter and half with honey, and he'll have that. And now sometimes myself, I will have a peanut butter slice and a honey slice. Now my question to you is this: if often you have one and then you have the other one, right? Would I have a better experience if I had 2 slices of bread, both 1/2 honey and 1/2 peanut butter?
I think that's madness. You're adding an extra element of work to your morning. Spreading peanut butter over one slice and honey over another, it's just a quick job. But if you're doing half and half, it's panicky.
But flavour-wise, I think there's just natural variance that can work.
Honey and peanut butter go well together.
But so instead it would be, because before it's peanut butter then honey, because obviously the sweeter one is the dessert. That's the way you work. We've all seen Peep Show. But what if I was living in a world where I was going peanut butter honey? That might be. I'll try it. I'll let you know.
What can I ask? What the best? What the best in terms of melted cheese? What goes best with melted cheese?
What goes best with melted cheese?
So if you're making a bit of a Welsh rarebit, is that the best combination? For me, I think it's up there. So it's a horseradish or mustard and cheese on a slab of bread.
It's really good.
It's mustard. Mustard is unreal. Mustard for me is the best condiment, number one.
English mustard, though.
English mustard, mate. English mustard.
Yeah, it is mega.
It punches you in the fucking face
yeah, you
when
love
you
that.
eat it as
You
well,
love that,
mate.
I love it. I'll never forget it. Never forget it. He's him getting his sushi. Gets his sushi. Comes in the office, and he's just. He's just crying. He's crying because he's putting the fucking wasabi like on it. Like slathering on.
So good.
You just like the pain. You want it there.
It's when it's
there.
It's there, right in the sinuses. It's like, bosh.
Right.
Now you know you're alive.
Indeed. Right, Nathan, don't copyright strike me for this. Last week, he put forward the idea of blackcurrant and corned beef sandwich, featuring my mum. He's titled it. He's done it with spoons. Shall we have a listen?
Play us out, can it?
Hold a spoon.
Can do.
Now, what
Please hold the spoon. That's what I like as well. Just to be clear.
you know about what we're about to
You
do?
tell me to stop if you ever want me to stop. If you've got something to say.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Lovely word. Mum.
If I say to you a weird food combination, what would you think of?
Knowing you, corned beef and blackberry jam.
Interesting. Would you mind lifting up the bowl for me?
Or is it going to be fish fingers and
No.
custard?
All right. What are we looking at?
A corned beef and blackcurrant
Corned
jam.
beef.
This could well be the only household
Let me stop
in
it.
the
Sorry, go on.
the only household on the planet where this is happening. This is happening. This isn't happening anywhere else
Great point.
on Earth.
It's incredibly unique. Yeah, that is true. I was absolutely fine with everything that we've seen so far until that.
It's the cut. Yeah,
The
that's
cut.
enough.
The
So
cut.
what are you doing?
What's going on there?
Two
Nathan,
grown-ups.
you don't. Yeah, like cut it once in the middle, the end.
Yes.
That
And
really
look,
shook me.
I don't hate the fact that it's cut diagonally if you must. Although we've had this conversation, I'm much more comfortable with just having two rectangles at sides. But to have 4 bits,
yeah. Yeah.
it's a waste of time. And I like the fact that he's actually brought. We need a glass of water each, just in case
Just
we
in
get
case
thirsty
it
in
goes
these.
wrong. Yeah, that's
We
class
get
act. actually.
first-
Class act.
Yeah, if we get first in this in 1 minute 50 seconds, at least we've got water there.
Look at that.
But he's nervous.
Yeah, it's shaking.
Lovely.
Disgusting. That looks fucking
So I've not
disgusting.
had this probably in 20 years or so. But you said that when I had it as a kid, you really liked it.
I did.
So now we're gonna have a little try of it.
You said that's what you wanted on a sandwich.
Yeah.
And I said, don't be silly. Different sandwiches. And you
Same
know,
note.
same one.
Cool. Shall we?
So
This is
sweet.
really sweet. It is sweet. It's really lovely.
Just a game for the people
House looks
watching right
nice as
now.
well.
Yeah, it does look nice. The game for the people watching. Do they like it or not? Guess now.
Yeah, that's still good.
Oh, that's disgusting.
No,
Oh my
no,
god.
that is still good.
So like,
Doubling down, isn't she?
No.
She's not having it.
Yeah.
Don't
Good
I
bum.
can see the
Tell me
beef
what I
with the
like about
blackcurrant
that.
jam being nice, but the corned beef, like the saltiness, that is vile.
No, because it balances.
No.
No. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, son.
No. She got bored.
The sugar and the jam.
Ah.
Right, okay. I want to try this with like normal roast beef now. I
Na-
can see it.
Nathan trying to be respectful to his mum, although wholeheartedly disagreeing with him.
Thank you.
Very sweet.
Good work.
Very
Thank you very
sweet.
much
Great
for that. Thanks for the effort.
Well done, Nathan. Great work.
Mm.
So there we go. Anyone who was spoken about today, film yourself with a spoon, eating the food in question, and give us a review. If you want to become a patron, you can do. Links in the description. We will be back next week. Flav, is there anything you want to say?
Suck your mums.